Tony, thank you very much for joining us.
Great to be here.
Yeah. It is a warm day, but luckily we are kind of underground. We've got air conditioning.
Absolutely. That's the only reason I'm here, is it's the coolest place in London.
This is our new pitch to guests. It's like, please join us. It's cool here for the next 3 months.
Perfect.
No, but seriously, Tony, you are the founder of the Payments Association, and you've had an incredibly rich career, which I would love to talk about. Maybe just before we get into it, I would like to say, and I was just telling you earlier, when I joined Griffin 4.5 years ago, I had no background in banking. And the Payments Association was one of the communities that really, really helped me kind of get up to speed and feel a lot more comfortable.
Wow.
And the way I think you design your events and different things just makes it so accessible, and I was very, very grateful. So it's very
really
nice
cool
to be able to talk to you today.
That's brilliant. Look, for that testimonial, I'll talk for hours.
We've only got the studio for an hour.
Oh, that's a shame. That's okay.
No, but
that's good. That's really, really good to hear, and that's absolutely what we're here for.
Yeah, maybe you could give a little bit of an intro into the Payments Association for people who aren't aware and are maybe just coming into the fintech space.
Absolutely brilliant. I'd love to do that, and Griffin Bank, really good example of a superb member, because they really get involved with lots of things we do. And as a trade association, 250 members in the UK.
Wow.
About 75 in Europe, a whole host of partner ones in Asia. And really what we're here to do is to champion the interests of companies in the payments ecosystem. And it's not really an industry, it's an ecosystem. We look at the kind of the things that people need from their participation in industry that will make their businesses more successful, and we provide those, and we think we do it better than anybody else. Which is cool.
It's certainly really, really cool what you do. Before, maybe we can actually step back a little bit and talk about your career, Tony. And when I was prepping for this, I almost didn't know where to start. You've done so many incredible things.
You mean I have a random meandering career, Mo? Is that what you mean?
I think that's more interesting than a linear career.
Fair.
No offense to linear careers, they're also fantastic. But yeah, maybe you could tell us the story of how you got to the point of then founding the Payments Association.
Well, a part of this is, and I hate an interviewee who says, "Oh, when I was 4." And you just know people at the back end are all yawning. No, but honestly, there was a particular moment at university. I studied something called management science at the University of Manchester Institute of Science and Technology. It was a general management degree because I wanted to be, I think, at the time, a general manager. I didn't quite know what that meant. But there was one topic called the science of innovation. And I could see the correlation between people coming up with ideas that converted into businesses and the world being a better place.
Right.
And to me, that's a fundamental principle of business. You do the right things, and out of it comes employment, and you end up paying taxes, and you end up solving problems that make the world work. Yeah. So I always had this sense that there was going to be something in me that would be entrepreneurial, although back in 1979, the word entrepreneur really wasn't used at all. It was just, you were just going to go into business.
Right.
So anyway, I went into sales, into packaging, and then at the age of 28, I said to myself, the company I'm working for is publishing customer magazines that I could do better on my own. And so at the age of 28, I set up a contract publisher. And the thing that I proved to be quite good at doing was enrolling people in the possibility of my company's services on a business-to-business basis. And being kind of a well-bred English public school boy, I ended up being quite good at networking. It's what it was called now, but in those days it was called getting on with people. And so those are the things that kind of, B2B sales and getting to work in a network were the things that I was quite good at.
Yeah.
So then, okay. So the first thing is, packaging, B2B sales, publishing.
Yeah.
Then I did consulting for a little while, and out of that I produced this business plan to do fine food distribution.
Okay, interesting.
Why?
What type of consulting, if I can ask?
It was actually in loyalty consultancy.
Okay.
So all
cool.
about how to make your customers loyal. And,
Very cool.
And one of the other ingredients I think all business people, business leaders try to have is some source material. So I'm a book reader. I've read lots of management books, hundreds of the bloody things.
Yeah.
And so there was just this idea that was put forward that if you can make your customers loyal, you'll create a business that's more sustainably successul than if you're always churning them.
Yes.
And that's a simple idea behind any book. But it was written in the early late 1980s, and it inspired me. Anyway, fine food distribution.
Yeah.
That was an expensive mistake.
Okay.
I'm not a very good fine food distributor. It was the wrong sort of business. And then actually also set up a telco in the prepaid card market, prepaid telecom. Do you remember those cards? You used to put all the numbers in the back of a phone.
Yes.
You're too young for that,
No,
Mo.
I remember
you
that.
You are much too young. Well,
maybe it's just how I learned.
Maybe that. Who knows? Maybe you were collecting the old ones as a means of playing at school. Anyway, the point was that was also a business that didn't play to my strengths.
Okay.
You know, the books say focus on either product innovation, relationship management, or operational excellence.
Okay.
You've got to be pretty good at all three. The telco required operational excellence.
Yeah.
We ended up being defrauded. I was in South America.
Me.
We ended up being defrauded for £250,000
No.
by the CTO.
Yeah, by your own CTO. Oh, goodness me.
That was not cool.
That could be a whole episode in itself.
Well, no, and I had to come back. I was meant to be having some holiday in South America, and I came back and had to make 35 staff redundant. That was brutally unpleasant. For them, of course. Not much fun for me either. So I just decided that I now know what sort of business I shouldn't be running.
Okay. You tried, and you saw things that weren't for you.
Don't go there.
Okay.
So what I did discover is that I don't know why I got involved because I was involved with prepaid telcos. I got involved with prepaid financial services.
Yeah.
It was a budding sector. This was 2003. The new e-money directive was just out across Europe. And that I thought was really interesting. Nobody seemed to know much about it. A new form of regulation, and maybe my fascination for innovation and my interest in B2B sales and networking, put those three together. Yeah. Maybe I can do something.
Yeah.
And I did. I set up first of all, I set up a gift card distributor.
Wow. Okay.
Third party you go to a Sainsbury's.
Yes.
You see all those gift cards. There are companies behind that bring the buyers and sellers together around a platform.
Very nice. Yeah.
And I read a book called The Catalyst Code.
Okay.
And I always have to write them down because it's a funny Evans and Schmalensee.
Okay.
And anybody who's interested in platform businesses would absolutely know that as the Bible.
Right. Right.
So I decided that there was this budding industry, particularly around gift cards, and maybe I can pull together people who are like-minded and give them things that would warrant me receiving a subscription rather than a consulting fee from which I could get loyalty. So there's
very smart.
This sounds in retrospect as if it's all very well carefully considered. A lot of it's accidental. It really. That's why I did that. Now I understand. So that's when I came up with the idea of a community business.
That's incredible. That's very cool. And I mean, you tell me, Tony, but it sounds like you jumped into things. You jumped into the fine foods business. You jumped into the telco business, and you learned along the way. And it kind of feels like those dots then connected into that prepaid space, and it all came together. Is that fair to say?
That is very fair. And one of my inspirations was a blue ocean strategy, this idea that you should combine things in a way that was unique, that nobody else had done before. Otherwise, you're in the Red Sea of fighting competition, the red blood of competition. I wanted to be in the blue ocean. And I always think of the best analogy, of course, is Cirque du Soleil, that brings together musical with circus, with acrobatics. And it's very hard to do, but once you get it right, it's world leading.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'll do a community, but I'll do it differently. I'll do it using a commercial model with a different set of governance, different set of objectives, different set of measurable outputs.
Right.
And I'll never forget the first time I went into a proper sales meeting to sell this. I had, a rudimentary PowerPoint deck, which I obviously made myself.
No AI,
no AI, and no money to employ a specialist. And I had four logos on my membership slide.
Okay.
It's rather fun. We've got over 300 now. I had four of them. One was a member we still have. One was a scale up that had given me a very small amount of money. One was completely fabricated. I'd made it up. And the fourth one was my lawyer, and I was paying them. So you have to blag your way through these things a little bit. But that's part of the lean, agile. Do what you can with what you've got.
Yeah. We actually had analogous, different kind of content of the story, but one of our previous guests called it credibility hacking.
Yes.
Finding a way to show that you're credible before you have like the full set of proof that big businesses enjoy.
Yeah. And particularly in this sector, because you can be found out pretty quickly if you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Payments is a bizarre and extraordinary sector that I don't think anybody out there positively goes to join payments. I think it attracts a certain sort of person who's fascinated by the idiosyncrasies and importance of the sector.
Yeah, there are so many idiosyncrasies. That's one thing that surprised me, is that as a consumer, I always thought payments were quite simple. You tap your phone or your card or whatever, and it happens. But when I joined the industry and you start seeing under the hood, it's like, goodness me,
Yes.
okay, there is so much complexity.
There is, yeah. And so we are typically very siloed. And one of the things I was determined to do was to think in terms of, I suppose, another name for a network. A network with boundaries is an ecosystem.
Okay.
And I was determined to do something that was also a bit unusual.
Yeah.
So in trade associations of our type, communities of our type, typically you pay based on what you can afford.
Right.
So the big companies pay a lot, and the little companies pay a little. Now, with the exception of startup businesses, all of our members pay the same.
Wow.
For their type of membership,
Yeah.
they all pay the same. So you can look across the room and say, I'm a peer of yours.
Yeah.
It's democratic. I have a voice. And you may work for a company with 75,000, or in the case of some of the banks, many more thousands than that. But I'm a peer of yours.
Yeah. Do you think that changes the incentive for you as a community as well? It kind of, does it help you help everyone a bit more equally?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It means we have to think, interestingly, we have to think about the bigger purpose.
Right.
Which is helping to provide, helping to ensure that across the world, not just in the UK, but I think we have a ripple effect globally because we're really good at it here.
Yeah.
To get to the point at which people have the confidence to trust and use payment systems.
Right. Right.
In a secure, instant, cheap, and convenient way.
Yeah.
And if you think about the customer, if that's always the reference point, then what you find yourselves doing is making judgment calls on complications which are not determined by vested interest.
Right. Okay.
And vested interest is the enemy of progress.
Okay. Yeah, that's really smart. You're keeping the higher level goal in mind, and you're designing your business model around that so that you can serve all the members and the end goal.
That's the idea. And there's interestingly, there's another kind of meta component here, which is that you have to think about how you're helping people do the jobs that they need to do day in, day out. It's jobs focused innovation.
Yes.
And so, I know, for example, that you and we've been introduced by a common party. I think we might well have met actually at one of our events.
I've definitely been to a lot of payment associations.
And in fact, if it was after an hour in, you may well not have remembered. But anyway, and so getting to the point at which you have brought the buyers and the sellers and the partners together around the table, you have a sense of confidence that they're going to go into their work the next day and think, that helped my day work better.
Yeah.
Solve a problem that I couldn't get addressed anywhere else more efficiently or cheaply.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
And that must be so satisfying as well when you see it and you hear the feedback about that.
It's cool. It's very cool. Yeah.
I've got a bit too excited. We've kind of
we meandered off into the middle distance. No worries.
That's the point of these, though. That's the fun. But if we go back to that moment where you had that PowerPoint with those 4 logos, how did you then get your first set of customers, I guess, and community members? And I guess the point of a community is to have a community of members. How do you go through that pain of needing to get almost that critical mass number of members before you start seeing the network effects going?
So essentially what you've got to do, you've got to create enough value on the platform that makes it worth buyers and sellers coming together to operate on it. Right. So it could be research, it could be networking, it could be influencing, or it could be simply providing people with a forum through which they can promote their services. Those are the 4 pillars of value that we provide.
Yeah.
And you do it step by step. It's really hard to build a platform business. I think I think we had a couple of bits of good luck I'll tell you about, but without which actually we would not have made the impact we have. And so platform businesses essentially typically what they do, they don't get the pricing right. Or so for example, sometimes buyers and sellers pay different amounts. So we do have one of our quirks of membership is when I mentioned this earlier, I forgot to mention that merchants get a kind of tailored down version of membership, but they don't pay. Because everybody wants the merchants around the table.
Okay.
And the other thing is, you want to take account of cost efficiencies if you can. It doesn't cost much more to run an event with 200 people as it does with 100 people. And so you want to get to the point at which you've got over the hump. But if you push too fast, then you can very easily fall down. And we were privately funded. It's basically me and a small number of early stage investors, founders. They put in lots of intellectual property. And in the end, I just simply was lucky. My wife was earning, and I didn't earn money for several years. But that's the investment.
Yes.
And so and what happens is, if you get it right, you get the pricing right, the content right, the kind of, and then all the basics around running a sensible business. Then what happens is you get enough critical mass, and then the network effect kicks in, and then people can't afford to join. They can't afford not to join. That's the plan.
You become the default in the community, in the space, which you very much are. In those years when you're not any years, it's a long time.
23 years. I set up the company, and we actually launched the Payments Association about 14 years ago.
Wow.
But we were the Emerging Payments Association before that. And before that, we were the Global Prepaid Exchange. And before that, we were the Giftex network. So you adapt, you kind of go where the energy is. I sound like a slimy entrepreneurial. I'm an opportunist, but I think all business people have to be. You go where the energy is.
And I guess in my opinion, at least, payments actually changes a lot, and finance has changed a lot. If we look back over the last 26 years,
so much.
You have to shift with it.
It's so much. I mean, the e-money regulations I mentioned earlier gave birth to a massive ecosystem. I reckon about 3,000 businesses were born out of that, because it was positioned largely to provide competition for the big financial institutions. And it served its purpose really well. But what was interesting, it had all sorts of other unexpected knock-on effects. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about new technologies a little bit later. But it had this knock-on effect, which is well, blimey, we can actually do this with our money. We can do this with our payment systems. And yes, I think we took market share away from the big banks for the more entrepreneurial, smaller companies. But actually, in the end, they benefited too because they're much better. You look at some of the big banks, the customer interface they have is fantastic. Still, really, like they're not short of a bob or two. So we haven't exactly harmed that. This has actually resulted in everybody benefiting.
Yeah,
which is what real innovation will do.
Yeah, it is very cool to see how those pieces of regulation can shift the market in a great direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Talking of new technologies, there's so much happening in the space. We recently had some guests on to talk about agentic payments. Stablecoins are a huge topic. We've spoken about that a lot on the podcast. There's a lot happening. What is particularly exciting for you?
So individually, these are exciting areas.
Yeah.
What I'm interested in, and you can probably tell from this discussion, I have, I suppose, a networked brain. I love seeing things that other people don't quite see. And what I'm seeing at the moment is the juxtaposition of these multiple waves of innovation. So the 2014 Bitcoin Foundation conference in Amsterdam that I attended, before, Bitcoin was 6 years after the main paper, but Bitcoin was way out there. But I was fascinated. So I went to a conference and learned a great deal about the opportunities from cryptocurrencies. And then it trundled along in the background outside the mainstream.
Yes.
And about 2 or 3 years ago, you could see that we did a great piece of research, the new era of payments, about 5 years ago. And it talked about CBDCs and stablecoins. And it concluded stablecoins were the way. We just had to give them enough time. So that's one wave that's breaking.
Yeah. You were ahead of the curve there. You caught that
I'd like to think so. Sometimes, in fact, ironically, sometimes too early.
Okay.
Because when you think of a wave and how it breaks, when you're ahead of the wave, it's very quiet. You look around and go, have you ever done surfing in Cornwall when you're looking around going, where's the bloody wave? And then of course, if you're behind, if the wave has already broken and you're behind it, you go, oh, I missed that one.
Yes.
The secret is just catching it.
That's such a good point.
And so the wave breaking in stable coins, of course, there's the AI wave. You have to mention that.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole wave of innovation around digital identity, security, authentication, and that area. These three coming together is going to be fascinating. We're seeing significant shifts across the world, both retail and wholesale, which are I think prefacing the ground is going to change enormously around new products and services using these three things.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to send and exchange value wherever you are in the world in a secure and convenient and cheap and instant way. And you'll be able to do it knowing where the money's going to, where the money's coming from. And that's just kind of retail payments. So there's a whole massive treasury world of wholesale payments, central banks, infrastructure, and everybody's realizing that actually this is a very exciting thing. So I'll give you an example. International trade.
Okay.
So the movement of goods around the world is, as we've discovered from the Straits of Hormuz crisis, is rather important.
Yes.
There's a set of bureaucratic, professional services-based paperwork that is necessary to enable the movement of goods around the world. Bills of lading, letters of credit, and things like that. It hasn't changed in 150 years. And how much do you think? What do you think the average kind of cost of the move of when you're paying for and moving goods? What do you think is the friction there in percentage terms?
I don't know, 5%.
Yeah, so you're bang on the money.
Okay.
So between 3% for good ones and 7 to 10% for bad ones.
Okay.
But because there's multiple parties involved,
Yeah.
and every time you do this, you've got to get a professional services person in Senegal, who's going to authenticate that the contract that is here and the bill of lading, which says what's come in,
Right.
match, sign, that's
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
they all take a little cut.
Yeah.
So
it adds
just
up.
think, if with this technology we can prove the provenance, we can have a data that's based on GPS tracking of where the goods are when they come into port,
Yeah.
that triggers an instruction to a central core in a way that's based on the blockchain, that's instant, and that costs a few bips.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the world economy is benefiting from 3 to 7% worth of extra money. Wouldn't that be cool? And that, to me, that's a lovely example of the application of these technologies. The three things together coming in will have a huge impact.
I'm glad you said the three things together. David, our CEO and co-founder, he also wrote something about at least stablecoins and AI coming together. And we're a big believer that it's these things put together that create a very, very different landscape. Do you think this is, in terms of magnitude of change, do you think this is one of the biggest shifts in the payments world? Or is it, do you think, more kind of incremental?
I think it's. They always say if you look at change in reverse, there's much more actually happens when you look back over 10 years than you think is likely. The reality is it depends.
Okay.
I'm not going to be a gushy
Crystal ball.
I mean, it's very hard to know.
Yeah.
I mean, Griffin Bank are in a lovely position because you guys have the kind of the right culture, the right product set, and the right point of focus to really capitalize on some of this good stuff. And it's really reassuring to hear David talking about it and in those ways. And blimey, he's at the top of one of the most successful, more innovative banks in the industry, so he should know. I think there's a few caveats here. So the first one is, what is the risk appetite from the people who are running the institutions who shape the regulations upon which our freedom to innovate depends? So it's quite interesting. The chairman, the governor of the Bank of England, Andrew Bailey, and if you're listening to this podcast and he's no longer the governor of the Bank of England, then it'll be in about 2 years' time. That he's always questioned the security around the payment sector. We've got a lot of regulations, very expensive for people to operate within this sector in the UK. But his thesis is, there's no prizes for coming first. We can be a fast follower and a good one, and I think that's a legitimate approach. And he also thinks that some of these risks are much greater, but we just don't know what they are yet.
Right.
So I think there's an alternative approach that we're encouraging, which is reflected in Sarah Breeden's attitude.
Okay.
She's the Deputy Governor of the Bank of England. She's recently published a paper on particularly on stablecoins, which is hugely inspiring to me.
Cool.
Because I think the UK is a really good early adopter of new technologies. We're good at bringing talent together, money together, entrepreneurs together, in a context which is enabling great things to be done.
That's
now,
amazing.
let's be honest, we're number 6 or 7 in the world in terms of size of country. We're a little island off the on the west of Europe. What gives us the right to do that? And I don't quite know. I don't think we have a right. I think we have a duty. We have a duty to convene and bring together the best capabilities in the world to deploy the good things we've been talking about, not just here, but globally. And we're seen as an example around, whether it's around fraud prevention, whether it's around the adoption of new technologies, or whether it's even around just understanding the loose, tight nature of regulation. It's loose enough to allow you to make some money. So, for example, the FCA has a series of what are they called? Hotbeds. The centers. Sandboxes.
Yes,
sandboxes.
Yes,
That's great. So one of my friends runs VVTX. It's one of the 4 companies within a sandbox focusing on stablecoins.
Amazing.
Brilliant. And he's helping to shape the landscape by deploying this within a safe
Yes.
Haven.
Yeah.
It's really clever.
These are
We've got to be
brilliant.
doing more of that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that I really, really, again, like from someone who wasn't in the industry before to coming into it, I was so impressed at seeing these sandboxes, as you say, ring fenced, safe environment, but experimenting on the cutting edge,
Yeah.
and doing it with industry partners, with whether it's competitors or friends and the regulator.
Yes.
It's really, really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know if I go up and speak to Sarah at a conference, she'll know who I am.
Yeah.
We'll have a chat about something, and her team will be open and listening to my community's
Yes.
feedback. And it's really important that people listen to each other. I love the consultation methodology here.
Yeah.
If you go to Italy, the way in which they produce new regulation in Italy, relevant to the Italian market, is the central bank tells people what to do.
Okay.
Here, there's engagement, and it takes a bit long,
Yeah.
and we're all a bit impatient, aren't we? We all want to get on with it. But having said that, when we do stuff, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
And I think we should champion the UK's capability in coming up with the right regulation a bit more.
Yeah, it's such an important part of the ingredients that make London and the UK such a critical piece of the financial infrastructure in the world.
Absolutely. And that's where the Payments Association comes in. That's what we're there for. We're not just a bringer together of people in conferences, Pay 360, Financial Crime 360. It's not just our networking events, which are apparently quite notorious, although I've got no idea why. And it's not just the fact that we actually publish a great deal of originally sourced data and market research talking about, for example, agentic commerce and its impact on payments. That's the latest one.
Yeah.
But also it's because we have a beautiful way of helping to shape policy.
Okay.
It's democratic. Remember my pricing decision earlier? Democracy.
Yes.
So we have a series of working groups, volunteers. We have almost 200 people who are participating in these groups, both in the committees and as supporters, on 8 different topics which matter to our members. So, for example, regulation or financial crime or cross-border payments. And every year, this group creates the policies that form the manifesto that we take to Parliament.
Wow. Okay.
So it's ground up. And that, to me, it sends a shiver down my spine of excitement, because I know this isn't a bunch of policy geeks out there doing work in isolation of our members.
Yeah.
The members are generating it.
Yeah, the people who are close to the metal, they're dealing with it every single day. They're building. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so as a result, the policies are just good.
Yeah.
They're just right for, remember we talk customer centric?
Yes.
They're just right for helping us achieve our bigger purpose.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And that's exciting.
Yeah, that is such an incredible way to, as you say, shape policy, help your members and the wider ecosystem gain the benefits. We love, Tony, to help founders, especially like early stage founders at Griffin. We kind of never forget our early days. Yes. And we always want to kind of pay it back to founders. How would you recommend fintech founders today get involved with, say, the Payments Association in the best way possible? How would you say is the best way? Yeah.
So I think, if I were to tell you, use the words, it'll come and go. Mm-hmm. What I would recommend people do is think about their communities, the ones that work for them, whether it's their family, whether it's their hobby. They might be cyclists. That's my hobby. They might be golfers, heaven forbid.
We've got a few of those at Griffin.
I'm sure. Cycling is a new golf, remember. And it might be that they are enthusiasts behind some socially beneficial cause or charity or whatever. Think about their participation in those things and just do that in our community. Yeah. It's a community that is full of people who care. Mm-hmm. It's really strange. I don't quite know why it works this way, but human beings like to affiliate, connect. They like to belong. Mm-hmm. We've got to make the world a better place through this community. Mm-hmm. Think about what you can do, or importantly, your team can do to give a bit back. Mm-hmm. And from that, they will find that what goes round comes around. It not only feels better, but commercially it'll be working for them. Yeah. And I'll give you a lovely example. We have our advisory board members, led by Nick Kerrigan, who's at Swift, with Noya Nihat and Mitch Trehan, who are our deputies. And there's 14 other senior executives nominated by their colleagues, voted in to be democratically representing the community.
Yeah.
They give a lot of their time and effort,
Yeah.
both in the meetings and afterwards. We don't pay for that,
No.
but they do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And actually they get bucket loads back in return.
Yeah.
So, kudos to people like that. Come and encourage your colleagues to join our working groups.
Yeah.
Come with your point of view, your voice, your passion, your enthusiasm. Get involved, roll your sleeves up.
Yeah.
And throw your hat in the ring and say, yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, we can. And
Yeah.
actually from that, this trade association has the potential to be influential, not just on the kind of the careers of the people involved, not just on the companies that ultimately we're here for, but also on the UK's industry.
Yeah.
I'm proud to say I'm the founder of the world's most progressive trade association in payments. We have big global ambitions. We're now part of 19 Group, big investors in events globally, and we're looking at some big ambitions around the world. They're an amazing team, and we're very happy to be there. But ultimately, of course, and again, as you'll notice, there's a few things on the backbone of what I say. Ultimately, this will benefit the people who pay and get paid every single day, not just in our privileged place sitting here in a nice cool auditorium in Shoreditch, but also wherever they are in the world. 8 billion people will depend upon us.
Yeah. Like you gave the example of the trade system and that 5 to 7%, which could be shaved off
Absolutely,
and go back
absolutely.
into the economy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tony, one of the things I love is the way you actually talk about the community as well in that kind of management science way, and you break it down in a really digestible format. You said you read a lot of books. I think it's very cool. Are there any books you really recommend that you've read recently?
So I have to reference the Bible for anybody in platform businesses, the Catalyst Code.
I need to read that. Yeah.
No, I really recommend you do. There's a lovely one called Give and Take by Adam Grant. And it says, how your life will be better by learning how to give better. And it's very clever because, it essentially, animals don't do what we do.
No.
They just don't. You're kind enough to invite me here to share my stuff. Hopefully there's some people out there, or one or two, maybe listening to this.
I'm sure.
And so I would recommend that one. And I'd also recommend Blue Book. Blue Book is only out this year. It's published by written by David Craig. He was the chief executive of Thomson Reuters Finance and Risk. He took them out. He bought them out from Thomson Reuters for $7 billion. He changed them into Refinitiv.
Right.
And he sold them for $27 billion. Let's just get that right. Bought them for 7, sold them for $27 billion within 5 years.
Within 5 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's just written an amazing book, The Blue Book. He and I actually, this is a quiet plug for my next podcast, which is called Out of the Blue.
Nice.
And we have a series where we've got some very senior level executives who are sharing those out of the blue moments.
Fantastic.
Where they have seen their opportunities be transformed by things that sometimes just serendipitous, sometimes unpredictable, sometimes just lucky, but also people who really believe in the UK as the foundations, as having the foundations for being really brilliant at growing businesses.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be doing.
What a fantastic thing. We have to definitely include that in the captions along with the book recommendations as well.
Very good. Thank you.
That is brilliant. Tony, we could speak all day. I genuinely feel like excited and inspired when I talk to
delighted.
you. What an incredible career story. The Payment Association is going from strength to strength. Thank you so much for sharing all of this.
And thanks to you and Griffin Bank for giving me a chance to share my stuff.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you, Tony. Thank you.